Good morning, and good morning from the beautiful, beautiful, windy, swelly, and a little bit hazy island of Barbados. And welcome to Friday, the beginning of your weekend. I actually have a weekend 7 days because I don't work, as you all know. I don't do anything at all. I'm what you call a beach bum. Good morning to you all. It's great to see you all. I don't really want to spoil the surprise of where it is yet. I know some of you have probably guessed already. But we're going to wait and see how good you are in your knowledge just from what you've seen so far. Anyhow, those of you that are not aware of where we are, I'll let you know right now. Okay, we are in Maxwell area. My girl's definitely favorite beach, I would say, on the island for sure, and possibly in the world. Now, I say that all the time, but seriously, this is the beach that she thinks is the best beach in the world. I tend to differ with her just because I used to like how it was before. But she saw it as it was before, as it is now, and from the day she was first introduced to this beach, this was her favorite beach in the world. We're just below Oysters Town, as you would know. That is the Oysters Fish Market area, or some of you may not know. We're having a really big swell that's coming in on the south. I won't say huge, but it's a good sized swell. Haven't seen one like this there for a long time, and its consistency and its power for sure. It's just beautiful out here. Now, before we start off this morning, we're going to have a look down the beach. And we're going to say our Serenity Prayer, because I think this is as peaceful as you could possibly want to see this morning. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Your will, not ours, be done. Amen. Good morning to you all again. This is just a beautiful, beautiful spot. I see some people mention Bougainvillea and stuff. No, we're not there actually. We're actually in a place up by Seabreeze Hotel. This is just above Bougainvillea area. It's beautiful, beautiful up here. Really is a lovely beach. I'll give you a little bit more on the beach itself as we're walking. Now, if you've been with me on previous vlogs out here, you will know how wide this beach is. But with the kind of swell and surge that's going on, you can see the outside reef is beginning to peel off as well. So good surf on the coastline today for the guys. But without this surge and thing, it's much wider. But the actual surge is bringing it right up onto the beach. Now, there's always been well, before I go any further, my bad, let me explain to you how you can get to this beach here. If you're driving up Highway 7, you will come to the Maxwell area, General Maxwell area. Just before you get to Butterfly Beach Hotel, you will see some vacant lots over on your right hand side. That's if you're coming from the Bridgetown direction. And from there, you'll be able to park and walk through this public access to the beach. There is one down below, but it comes over private property, and you know, they have been, I would say, very giving by allowing people to access the beach from that area, but don't know how long that will be before construction starts on that side. So this is the official public access that comes through here. Now remember, last time we came through here, we had a lot of rock wheelers and stuff that gave a lot of noise. Well, noise for you all, but for me, they were speaking to me. But you know how it is. I travel with a partner, and a lot of dogs don't like him at all, and that is the Shadow Man. Just a little mention. One of the family yesterday said that Facebook had taken down a couple of their comments because they referenced the Shadow Man and stuff, thinking it was spam. So they've actually contested that. But just to be aware that that seems to be a little bit of an issue. I haven't had any notifications on it or whatever, but just to let you be aware that there is something that is being questioned right now, or something that Facebook is looking at. So we see how that is going forward. You used to have a lot of places here. First of all, Sheringham Beach Apartments was located right here. And then there was below the Seabreeze. Now, over the years, they've actually, Seabreeze has actually bought its entire property and have its control of its entire property. It is beautiful. A couple of years ago, Seabreeze went through some massive renovations. Not on this section really so much, but on this new block of buildings here. If you remember how here was, that was not around. And the highest structure was these here in this general area. But that has changed a lot. But it's a beautiful, beautiful modification. And they're actually the ones that have put the investment into creating this beach here. That is when they first originally took it over. You will see down below, we have a number of groins. This first groin that we're coming up to was always here. That is not anything that's new. Maybe has been expanded a little bit by boulders, but not significantly. But this groin was always in this location. Just look at some of the water toys that you can get up here if you're here. Remember, this is not how the sea conditions are all the time. This is just how they are this morning. oh well, this week I would say we're going to have a few more days of this here. We generate a lovely southeast swell that's coming in, lots of wind that's keeping it on and making it consistent. Just a beautiful scenery. Before I go any further though, I had a lot of memory lapses yesterday with 360, so let me get one on the belt just in case I forget. You know it is, your brain is young, but anyhow, it sometimes has a tendency to forget what I'm supposed to be doing. So let's start off our first 360, and we're going to do this in silent mode. So yes, I'm biting my tongue. Here we go. You can certainly hear the power of these swells. They're hitting down really solid this morning. I went out for a surf yesterday, and let me tell you, my body is sore in places that has not been sore for a very long time. So I was telling my angel yesterday, I am hanging up my board. I am done with this. I guess I'm not able with this anymore. But you know me, that always is said, but when nature calls and I see the beauty of the waves start to get better and better, I'll probably bring and dust off that board and bring it back out in the ocean again. Just beautiful. I love how the lower section here, right in the center, is the restaurant. It's just a beautiful area, and imagine how beautiful this would be with all of these torches lit on at night. Just a stunning, stunning section. You'll see there's still some moon there just over the gazebo. You'll see that up there. It's pretty bright still. This morning I got a couple of shots, but it's a little difficult with all the haze to get really good shots of anything like the moon at the moment. Even the scenery is a little bit challenging, especially at this time of morning. Very, very dark and hazy. All right, we talked about the beach out here now. Let's spend a little more time on that there. Originally, and I'm talking maybe in the 90s, there was, well, up to the 90s. I actually we even go further than that. I would say up to the 90s, you couldn't go beyond this wall. You may have had sand in here on the odd occasion. And then it started to build a little bit, but there was no straight beach going through. Where you'll see this sort of like little cove here in the wall structure, this would have been the last piece of sand that you would have walked on. And beyond that, there was absolutely no sand. Oh my gosh, look at the size of this golden. Seem to be seeing a lot of goldings nowadays. I'll get a little bit closer to him. Hope he doesn't get startled. Don't want to frighten him, but I want you to see the size of this boy. He must have had a rough night. As you can see, he's just relaxing and getting his energy up. Good morning, buddy. How are you going? Yeah, he's posing for you. Just beautiful. All right, so back to the story on the beach now. I would say when my angel first came here in 2016, I brought her to this beach, and 17, and you couldn't walk this whole beach here because at that time, it was just a little bit of sand, as I mentioned, this general area here. However, a couple of groins have been dropped below. The first small one here, and then the one beyond that, as you can see, that goes fairly far out into the ocean. And this is not all, or this was not all natural sand. They brought truckloads and truckloads of man-made sand and dropped on this beach to develop it. And then over the last, I would say 2 years, it's just grown beautifully and expanded lovely. Just a lovely, lovely beach now. Now at the moment it looks as though it's narrow, but that's because it's very powerful surf, the very powerful surf and the surge that's coming with it. It is high tide at the moment, so there's no low in this whatsoever. As you can see how the water is pulling back, that is what the beach would normally look like, and it'd be a lot more level because we've been getting hit with these swells for the last couple of days, so a lot of sand has moved offshore and it will come back in. Just beautiful. Sun is beginning to try and peep out. Just lovely. You can see how big these swells are when you're looking at them at this side-on view. just to give you an indication, of the size and the power of these swells. It's coming right up on the beach with the surge, so that will indicate to you how much power is coming behind them. Just beautiful coastline though, my goodness. In the distance there, the first hotel you're seeing as it starts to go into the water from the beach, that is the Butterfly Beach Hotel. Stunning views. Thank you to all of you on board. I see 69 on board this morning. Yesterday, we had our biggest attendance to date. I thank you all so much for coming on. The numbers are really, the only relevance the numbers are is that the message and the word and our beliefs in happiness and peace and love are spreading, and more people are coming on, and they're actually enjoying the mornings and spending the mornings and using them as their start for the day, because we all have our challenges in life. You're going to find that every day. No day is ever perfect. No day will ever be eventless. There's always going to be something that will happen that will challenge us a little bit or try us. But if you can have the right start, if you can start with peace, and you can start with serenity, and you can start with care and love, no matter what comes your way, if you can tap into that continuously and don't allow anything to stress you out, or if it does stress you out, bring it off, take it off, shake it off with all the positives that you have felt and experienced this morning with us. Is that not a beautiful looking sun coming out there? Just look at those rings of gold and bands all around that cloud. Just gorgeous. I love the cast, I really don't like the haze so much because it takes away from the visibility, but there's a red cast to this morning, and like it's like a warmth, it's very, very beautiful. Beautiful morning. We have quite a bit of walk in store for us. I'm going to mix it up a little bit. We're going to do something we have not done before. Yes, we've done this beach numerous times, but we're going to do something that we haven't done for a while. Now, there was a webcam on this building here. Not sure if it's still there. I know if it's still there, the conductor is on it. Good morning to you, conductor. I'll give you a little wave if you can see me from here. Anyhow, that's just for you. I want to thank you for everything that you continue to do along with all the other care team and everybody else. Okay, history time again. Now, my family owned both properties here. That's this property that's a vacant lot, and the property below. The one below you see called Spinecock, and the one above you see called Craigswell. Now, over the years, they had two family homes on them. One of my family members, one of the family members or family groups used to live at Spinecock. Craigswell was just used as a sort of like a summer retreat. We have a very big family, so that was sort of like shared around with all the family and stuff throughout the year. But I remember here like it was yesterday. These rocks, of course, have changed it considerably. Originally, this, as I said before, were private dwellings. They then transformed into, or this one below transformed into the garage and the banana boat. Now, I don't know who are nightclub people on here, but if you did remember the garage, there were lots of half-cut cars. They were placed all over the yard. There was a big dance floor with one coconut tree over it and a massive, massive bar. If anybody remembers those days, that was Robin Walcott's operation. And then above was the banana boat. This is where you used to get the Merry Men and the Merry Boys and all trade winds and all other kinds of bands used to play here. This was a much bigger complex. It didn't have the type of atmosphere of the boatyard, but it had dance floor, bars, lovely outdoor. It was just beautiful. So if you all do have the memories of here, you can sort of like touch that with me. Now, the only, I can't really say private beach, but sort of like a private beach, because all in front here by where the coconut trees are is sand. Now, there was an elevated wall that was here that used to have the boundary properties on it, similar to the ones above. And inside of it, between that and the main house itself, which was set back, far back from the beach, there was a private beach. Not a private beach, but let's say an area filled with sand and coconut trees. And there was a beautiful double-story home here. I remember that, again, just like yesterday. The two properties were separated by a wall. That wall came down over time. And then the two properties were just put together as sort of like a caretaking effort. Lovely, lovely, lovely. All right, people, here we go. It's time to take a little silence and time to watch this sunrise with me, please. Yes, I am actually learning to be silent. So let's see how we can do now. If you all see the camera moving around, it means that I am anxious and I want to talk, but I'm trying to stay quiet. So here we go. All right, I was going for the record. I'm sure that was going to be close. Let me tell you, because I was beginning to twitch. And as I've said before, we are being granted, well, we're not granted. This has just become a public access to the beach that has not been prohibited, or there are no signs up anymore. They have up the fence and stuff just to show that it is private property. I don't know if that is protocol to maintain your properties in Barbados, to maintain ownership of them or whatever. But this is accessed by all of the people that are staying in hotels in the general area, because this is one of the nicer beaches in this area, not just for the Sea Breeze Hotel, but for other ones as well. Now, as I was telling you before, we had a massive house that was set up behind these trees here, just behind this grove of trees. So all this section in front here, in those days, was like a beach. The sand here was white, just as you would have just seen, and there was very limited beach in front. You used to maybe 10 foot of shoreline, 15 foot on a good day of shoreline, and that was it in those days. All right, in front of us, this hotel has some names that went with it originally. It was called Shangri-La, if I remember correctly. That was way back. So again, I'm dipping back into history. I know we have quite a few people on here that work in a travel business. They've been, representatives of Barbados, meet and greet representatives of Barbados that may remember that as being Shangri-La. It also was called the Howard Johnson Hotel at one stage of the game. This gap here is something like a little St. Lawrence gap. Now, this is the Maxwell Coast Road. If you come up Highway 7, you may not even know this exists unless you are an explorer and a well-traveled person in Barbados. You may just come straight up here, drive straight up to Oistins. But this does a similar thing to what the St. Lawrence Gap does. And it comes in and scoots just along the inside of the coastline, and then it goes back out onto the main highway. Not sure what happened to these power lines there, or these look more like telephone lines, but these things can happen. But this is Sun Bay Hotel. It's really a nice hotel. Use this here for a lot of our groups that were here on cruise ships that had to overnight because of tech issues, etc. Great service, great feedback on it. Again, it is not an advertisement that I'm providing here. I'm just letting you know places that I have heard of, that I know of the service and stuff, just in case you want to come and stay in the island. I'm not here really to give you a lot of dates and history, but I am here to give you the general knowledge of the island in case you've come down, you want somewhere to stay. This is an option for you. As you will see the beach just opposite, beautiful. Now again, a word of warning, this is private property, and I don't know how long you will be able to get access to the beach here. So that is always going to be a factor. So before you come, maybe you could just do a little investigation. If it's not like right now or in the immediate future, just do a little investigation and make sure you can access the beach. Because if you can't, you're going to have to walk down to, we go there in a minute, the Barbados Beach Club. And they're actually affiliated. So if you want, you can also utilize their properties as well. And that's the Barbados Beach Club that we get to shortly and talk about that in a minute. I remember when my family used to live above, the Peterkins used to live below here. If there are any of their distant relatives on here or relatives on here, good morning to you all. Now, all along here was private dwellings, beach homes. However, a lot of commerciality has come into this area. This is called the Dome. It doesn't look very impressive right now, but here's where it hosts a lot of the crop over events, a lot of large like weddings and stuff. A really nice facility. It's situated right on a little like peak out there as well. So you can look right up the same Maxwell Beach, or most of it, and then you can also look down into the welcome-in area as well. We like to come a little bit off of the regular track and come inland a little bit. I know that my spiritual sister loves this kind of stuff because she says she likes to include this kind of thing in her walking tours and stuff. So good morning to you, Tracy. Welcome on board if you're here. If you're not here, I know you will certainly be viewing this later on today. All right, again, another hotel with another name change. When this was first built, it was called the Welcome Inn Hotel. And this was the biggest hotel in this area and probably on the South Coast. Besides the Holiday Inn at that time and the Hilton, this would have been one of the biggest hotels definitely on the South Coast, or pretty much on the island, because this was a massive, massive structure when it first went up. It is now called the Barbados Beach Club. Now, there are a lot of facilities around here, nothing like the St. Lawrence Gap area again. But they do have a sports bar next door, so you can always come over here and relax, watch your sporting events, have a few drinks or whatever. That's if you don't want to stay on the beach side where they have numerous restaurants and bars located. But a fairly nice sports bar. Tennis court facilities below as well. pretty nice as well. I guess you all can hear the breezes still in the neighborhood. I'm going to just let you listen to a little bit of the natural sounds here until we get to our next location. So let's just get a little bit away from the radio noise, and here we go again. Okay, stepping back a little bit in time again. When I was in my early 20s, late teens, early 20s, there was a public access here. You used to actually walk into this car park and walk below this structure. However, that access has been removed. I'm not too sure if it was just something that was originally a tentative thing, because I'd seen it for all my life at that age, or what it was, but that is no longer accessible from there. If you want to get to this beach in front of the Barbados Beach Club, what I still call the Welcoming Beach, you're going to have to walk down almost to Sandals, onto the beach, and then make your way back up to the east. Very hard to access that beach. When I say very hard, it's not hard, you just have to walk. Now, any of you that have been around before, we had the Sand Acres Hotel. Sand Acres was purchased by the Bougainvillea Resort. Sand Acres used to have their facility here. Now, I know many of you have talked about this in the past when we were on the beach side, about how you remember the structure here. They used to have an L-shaped structure. Used to run like from where these coconut trees are, just a little bit further on to the mound. You can actually see the mound there, the elevation, and it used to run right down just to the east of those buildings, and then run straight out to the water. And they had 2 floors on that, 2 or 3 floors, I can't remember, I think it was 2. And that was known as the Sand Acres Hotel. However, when this was all purchased, this entire section here was purchased by the Bougainvillea, they have actually dismantled these structures that were here and created this beautiful, beautiful garden. It's absolutely lovely. They have maintained the pool that was always here, but they've now have this lovely garden. I think this is a really nice enhancement. I know a lot of people, how are you going, sir? I know a lot of people were concerned when the building went down, said, man, I'm sorry they've lost that. But to be honest with you, I think if you're staying at Bougainvillea and you're given the option of this type of accommodation and this type of area to go and relax and be at peace, I definitely think this is beautiful. This is my older sister Tess's favorite hotel on the island. Whenever she comes down from Florida, this is where she will stay with Jeff, her husband. And you know, I love that because I get a chance to come here and eat some food with them. So, you know what I mean? I'm a food eater. Talking about food eaters, I hope none of y'all are getting fooled with those boyish and charming looking featured fellas called the Munchkins. They're trying to carry away everyone's food. So if you've left anything on the bus, either run back for it quickly or accept the fact that that has been eaten. Because they don't make it a sport. They'll maul everything in sight. There are now 3 of them, and that group of guys seems to be growing and growing and growing. I know they are growing literally out front, but they're growing in numbers as well. A lot of those guys are like me. We like to support additional weight. So it's beautiful here. These neem trees are probably some of the best shade trees in the island. I love this. They're beautiful. They don't tend to drop so many leaves really like some of the other ones that are around. I just love the neem tree. I think it's a perfect shade section. Bougainvillea Hotel, definitely a lovely, lovely resort area. They have, hi, how are you going? They have lots of pools. Just beautiful. I just love the Bougainvillea, and I'm not saying that for any other reason, but that I love the Bougainvillea. Now, before this was here, again, I've been blessed with many, many years of life. And now I can actually talk about things that a lot of people would never even have known. Before this Bougainvillea was here, this was a large open lot that had 2 homes on it, 2 solid structure homes on it. Hi, how are you going, morning? I remember quite well because my family, one of my family members, as I said, we have a big family. So whenever our family went anywhere for vacations, they would open their doors on a Sunday or a Saturday, whether it was in Calwash, East Coast, West Coast, no matter where, they would open their homes. And we used to come here all the time when they used to vacation here. Originally, the ones that vacation vacation here would originally been at the Spinecot or the Banana Boat. Spinecot or Craigswell, I'm sorry. However, when those properties were no longer livable, basically, because they would deteriorate terribly, they would come down here and rent the property here, because this was their favorite area. Ocean One condominiums, You've seen this from the beach as well. We're going to have a little look at this from the other side. But right now we're just viewing everything from the roadside to give you a different perspective of what the island is. Good morning, ladies. Good morning. As you see, the sun has come right out, so you know who's going to be making a grand appearance shortly. Anyhow, I'm going to not talk about him until I actually have to. Oh boy, he's there already. Okay, good morning to everyone. You know who was speaking to you all this morning besides me? He's behind me annoying me as usual. But I'm sort of like becoming accustomed to him now. I really don't mind him so much because I found that being a friend of his is the best thing to be at this stage of the game, because I got some of you all that seem to like him more than me. I mean, I say all the nice comments to me. Yeah, Nick, we loved your day. No, we had a great time with you. Lots of fun with you today. But we love the Shadow Man. Seriously. I mean, if you want to start something like that, comment like that, please start off with, we love the Shadow Man, because I'm going to bypass that comment and not read it. But don't let me read a comment about me and then kill me with the Shadow Man talk about loving him and he's the nicest person in the world and he's handsome, etc., etc. Let me know that up front so I can just bypass your comment and don't have to worry about you for the day. So, now again, a little more history here for you. You just have another home located right here. Actually, it's a rent as well at one stage of the game. I see it up for sale, private property. So if you're looking for an investment in the island, close to the beach and stuff, a good area as well. And then behind here we have the Sandals Royale. This is one of their upmarket sections, not just the Sandals, but the Royale section. I've been in here, or been privileged to go in here with my angel. We had a tourism awards ceremony here for that I attended just as a guest, not as anyone that's connected with the awards. Although I thought I should have got a gold medal at some stage of the game, but don't mind. Anyhow, this is the Sandals Royale. It's beautiful. Watch it, go in there on night time, you'll be blown away. The color, the lighting, the coloring, just perfect. Absolutely perfect. Doesn't even look like Barbados to me. Like when we walked through, we were commenting on and saying, wow, there's really nowhere in the island that looks like this. And that's because of their lighting styles. I think that is what really caught my attention. We are walking through what was a former graveyard area. Just a few tombs that remain out here as well. In case you're not familiar, years and years ago we had a cholera outbreak here in the island, and the Dover Woods area was where the burial ground was. That is now where you will find, at that time, Casuarina, and now you will find Sandals. But obviously after a long period of time they were able to excavate and build. If you remember, up to maybe 6 months ago, 8 months ago, or if you were here around that time, or any time around last year or so, and you were in this area, you will remember, you will remember that you were able to drive right down onto this beach. They have put up some poles and stuff to stop that now. But I remember driving down this beach with my angel when she was here last year. Little glimpse at the Sandals from this section. This area here is a big drain section. All of the waters on the Maxwell here area, etc., will run down into this section and make its way out to the beach. It is actually quite beautiful now with all of these lilies and growths in here, especially when they start to bloom. It's gorgeous down here, just beautiful. Lots of bush. Yep, still have a lot of areas that need to be cleaned up and stuff. But again, this is going to happen. We've been through a tough time over the last 2 seasons, and I'm seeing lots of cleaning up going on around the island in general. Now, we used to be able to drive right out here, so Angie, if you're on board, baby, we can't drive down here anymore. We got to park and walk now for sure. Alright, we don't go too far up into the welcoming beach area and stuff, because we just get ready. I brought you here for you to see how rough this ocean is. And this huge, massive beach that we've seen in the past, I want to show you what happens when the seas decide that they're going to take some sand off of the beach and stuff. So you have a look at that in a few seconds' time. Lots of kids around. Hope they don't let them go in that sea this morning. I was up on the first beach. A friend of mine, Paul from Pablo Dante, he and his daughter, she must be maybe about 6 or 7, both of them are sea veterans, because I could see the way she was conducting herself in the surf and stuff. She is having a wonderful time, and it was so much pleasure to watch. And when I first came around the corner and saw a gentleman and a little girl, I was saying, oh my gosh, I hope he's careful with her. But after the first few seconds, I realized that she definitely knows what she's doing. She's being raised in the water for sure. Had so much fun getting balled up. It was amazing. All right, we're going to do a little swing here. We're going to do a little 360 in a couple of seconds for you. The sun is out in all of its glory now. Just beautiful. As you can see, it's very red, very hazy. Hello, good morning. How are you going? You want to say hey? Thank you very much. You all guys are from Barbados? Having a good time? Wonderful. Good morning, everybody. Morning, family. Lovely to see you all. So as you can see, people have just come out to have a really good day at the beach as well. Alright, this is Bougainvillea from this side. This is also Ocean 1 from this side. So you can have a look at those. I'm not going to go up by the Barbados Beach Club. We've done that numerous times. You can always have a peep at that. Today there'll be very little beach because that beach is really affected when there's a big swell and stuff. So we're not going to worry to go around there right now. But you can see how beautiful this beach is coming back. If you were with me over the last 2 months, you will remember there was very little beach here. Very, very little beach here. Now again, a lot of it has been eaten away over the last couple of weeks. So I did walk over here about 2 weeks ago, or a couple of weeks ago. You all were with me on that as well, and we would have seen how wide it is. And you can see where the waves are beginning to take sand away a little bit, but don't worry about it because this will move offshore right now, but the currents at this time of the year will bring it back in, because this, as you know, and as you've been told a few times, this is our beach building time of the year. This is when all the beaches tend to come back in, on the west and on the south, possibly on the east, but the east will still be impacted a little bit more for a few more months, but that will also build as well. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Barbados. Sun is coming out, just lovely. When I first came, this beach was full of tables and chairs. They would have had a barbecue or a dinner serving on the beach last night at the Sandals Royale. A lot of the chairs and stuff have gone. You'll still see a few of them getting moved as well. But this facility is lovely. I love the thatch work on all of the bar and the recreational area. I think that is beautiful. Yes, we know. I see you. You don't have to pump. Set yourself out here. Everybody knows you're there with me. More sea sponges getting washed in. This kind of sea conditions are going to have this kind of effect. Lots of sea sponges. It's a beautiful one here, clean and lovely. And you'll also find a lot of brown coral on the beach. Ooh, he is tall. I better behave myself. He will shake me down. Find a lot of brown coral, a lot of sea fans. Everything on the beach now because it's all moving. Now look at this. This is a massive, massive, massive beach. And I'm gonna one more time let you all know that when I was young, which is not that long ago, not considering the age of the earth at any rate, the beach used to actually go right, the water used to go right up to where you're seeing those umbrellas around on the beach here. That would have been at the absolute perfect condition. There was no sand here whatsoever. I mean, at certain times of the year, you used to have to struggle your way around mahogany and casuarina roots to walk this beach. And it was very, very difficult. It was a little slither of beach. I would actually risk to say that where the beach umbrellas are, where the building structure is, you could come off maybe about 30 yards off of that, and that is where you would have found the beach high water mark. And that is in those days. However, Sandals invested huge amounts of money into catchment groins just on the outside, and these have been extremely successful. I have some pictures and some vlogs back in there would have shown you when they had the big tractors and bulldozers out there dropping them off, but that would be going way back, and I can't really tell you where to find it on Facebook, but that'd be a long time, maybe 2015 or 14. But just look at the power and beauty of nature. Not something you want to swim in, but you have to respect how powerful Earth is and how powerful nature and God is. Look at the size of these waves. Now, you don't want to be really out there messing around in them if you're not familiar with surf and taking a pounding and currents and stuff, because most people will go in here thinking it's a lot of fun and will find themselves in a situation where they're panicked. Panic is the absolute worst thing that you can do when you're in the sea. If you're getting pulled out, most currents will take you out for a space or for a distance, and then it will drop off at that stage again when you can get yourself in. Do not panic if you come to Barbados and you're in the sea and something happens. Panicking is what you do not want to do, and that is for sure. As you start to panic, you start to lose your logic. You know, you start to lose your breath. You start to get anxious. So if you are in Barbados, you ever run into any difficulty in the sea, just float a little bit, relax a little bit. If there are lifeguards around, they will come for you. If there are no lifeguards around, just relax. Do not lose your energy fighting against this nature. You cannot beat this nature. Relax, it will ease as you get a little further out, and then you'll be able to come in. That does not apply to the East Coast. If you're on the East Coast and you get washed out, Again, panic is not advisable, but panic is what you're going to do, because over there is a different kettle of fish completely. I'm talking about the south side at the moment. Beautiful facility. Absolutely beautiful. So this is the Royale section, and just below they have the actual just Sandals section. When I say just the Sandals section, it's a beautiful, beautiful resort as well. But Royale have definitely put on the finishing touches and everything that I've seen in there for sure. They've just finished a new block of buildings further back into what used to be the Dover Woods. This entire area here was mahogany casuarina woods at one stage of the game. You will see some of the mahogany still in the background up by the far distance. This entire area was mahogany trees. I almost cried when we lost this here. Now I know progress, and I know money and investments and stuff are necessary for a country to sustain itself, but you know, there are certain things that I really do not like to see, and that is just my opinion. It's not criticizing anyone in authority. It is just saying I would much rather have remembered this here and for this to be seen as it was, because it was one of the. There are other mahogany forests, but this was one of the nicest mahogany forests on the island. I remember growing up in these woods here. Beautiful. But as you can see, they're already laid out. Facilities here are really, really high-end, beautiful, beautiful facilities. So as I said before, what you're seeing here, these maybe 6 tables, there are about 40 or 50 of these here that were set up from last night with torches and everything when I first came here. Beautiful, beautiful. Now the groin in the distance that you're seeing, that has always been there. That used to be where, or just below there is what used to be the Half Moon Beach Hotel. That is now called the Turtle Beach Resort. I'll show you that in a few minutes time. But this is where I did a lot of bodyboarding when I first started bodyboarding, which was after 7 years or 8 years of surfing, so pretty knowledgeable, you see. But they used to have a really good right that comes off of a reef here that used to break right into this section where we're walking now, because where we're walking now, remember, was all sea in those days. Casuarina Beach Resort, that was located in the lower section where Sandals is itself. Casuarina was my favorite hotel on the island. I used to come here. I remember they used to have a special on that if you could drink 4 of their big cocktails, you were given the 5th one free. Trust me, if you got to number 5, you didn't remember the 4 before, and you didn't remember anything about the day either. Very vicious. But out here was voted at one time the top eco hotel in the Caribbean. It had all of its trees. It never used to cut trees at all, unless it actually limited the movement of vehicles or, you know, impeded walking or anything. Everything was left as it pretty much was. It was a beautiful resort, very, very nature friendly resort at one time. They also had a private home that was located with a big piece of property between the Casuarina and what was Half Moon Beach Hotel. That has been, that property was bought, and Sandals has actually expanded into that as well. Now we're moving into the Half Moon Beach Hotel area where it used to be, now called Turtle Beach. I remember Half Moon very well because one of our followers on here, her family owned it, and I was literally raised with them. They were my brothers and sisters from very young, a little bit older than me, but around the age of my older sister. But I remember so many years here. The memories of the pool, the memories of everything in this place here will stay with me forever. Half Moon Beach Hotel, it used to be called. Just spectacular. That was what you call a real Bajan feel when you used to go in there. Okay, the right that I used to mention, as you can see, there's just out there when it gets really big. But there's a lot of sand now, so a lot of the breaks in this area have changed. When I first grew up, this area used to have waves all the time, like especially around February, March, April, when the winds used to pick up. You used to get the cold fronts being blown around by high pressure systems and stuff. The south coast used to be consistent. You come any day to the south and you get a break of surf to be on. It all depended on the tide, of course, as to how good it was. But through high and low tide, surf used to be always available. Nowadays, between high, you have to choose the tide because the amount of sand that's there has affected it, and it doesn't break at certain times, and conditions are better at certain times. That's not how it used to be before. You could come and surf anytime at all. Just beautiful, beautiful place. Sorry about the fast spin just now, but I didn't want to put the camera on folks as they were coming onto the beach. Don't worry folks, I got another 360 for you coming up, don't worry. I know, like, no, you must be fretting and telling me, Nick, man, what are you doing, man? Where are 360s? Actually, no, I can do. I'm gonna walk you back up here just a little bit and do a 360 from there, and then I'm gonna spoil you with another one. So there we go. Just a beautiful morning. You know, I didn't have a clue where we were coming until I would say maybe 4:35 this morning. I was sitting in front of the computer just checking a couple of messages, a couple of IM messages on Facebook, and you know, I had everything ready to go to print, but I didn't have any wording, just a blank piece of paper. And then it just came to me, this is where we want to do today. Let's do something different, Nick. Let's carry them for a little walk in the Maxwell Coast Road where they've never been before. So here we go. We're going to take our 360. Enjoy this one, folks. Remember, darker makers. Just so I will not speak, let me get rid of this one on. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Okay, here we go. In case you're not aware, that thing you all heard just sounded like garble. It was actually a hyper-speed way of me telling myself, do not speak, do not speak, do not speak. But anyhow, I just want to translate that for you all in case you all didn't understand what I was saying just now. You can clearly see where the two hotels almost touch each other here. You can see the entire structure, the railing, the trimming and stuff all changes. And that is above the Sandals, that's their actual Sandals block. And then you go into the what I used to call Half Moon, or still do call Half Moon all the time, because you know, it's just the way my heart is, but what is called Turtle Beach Hotel. You can clearly see the two structures almost kiss each other there. Beautiful. Yes, when I walk through areas like this area, sometimes it makes me extremely sad, because you know, I remember what it was like as a child growing up here. Obviously Barbados caters to tourism, and it was necessary to expand and develop the island for that industry. However, along with that, we lost a lot of places that hold a lot of memories for me. But that's like any of you all as well. I'm sure in the towns or the counties you all were raised in have changed dramatically as well. And I'm sure that a lot of places that hold many memories for you are no longer in existence. So it's just something that happens in life, but we can still reminisce. And thank God I have the memories, and they're still fresh in my mind, so I can really tune into them and appreciate what I had in those days. You know, walking down here brings me back to, I would say, my early teens, you know, and amazing. You know, I always say I was raised here, and I was raised here, and I was raised there, and I know a lot of people said to me, how you could be raised all over the place. That's because I have a couple of years on the belt, and I moved all over. My family were people who stayed away from home most of the time. We attended a lot of polo matches. We were very serious into equestrian. I used to actually ride, I can't say competitively, but I did compete until my around 16 or so. So that was the style of my family. A lot of them have maintained in that. They've stayed in horse riding, whether it be training horses in horse racing or equestrian riding or polo, they've stayed in it. But I have the memories of being a child all over this island. So my adventures on this island didn't start when I got my license or when I was in my late teens. It started from the time I could walk. I have visual memories of all these areas here when I was just a little boy, which is beautiful. So I can actually bring them to you as well, because some of you were here in Barbados around that time, and some of you actually know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, we're gonna do our last 360 here for the morning. This is where we're gonna end our tour today. We're not gonna go into the gap. We're just gonna end it at this point here. I really want you to come and see what the South Coast looked like with a big south swell on it, because I'm sure that many of you have vacationed here before. I'm not sure how many of you have actually seen it with these kind of surf conditions, but this is something that happens quite often actually around February and March and April. But this is a good solid swell today. So here we go, folks. Our last silent 360 for today. Alright, so we've continued our adventures, and we have brought you peace, and we brought you beauty, and we brought you the raw power of nature and what Barbados is like when the conditions change here. So as you'll see, it's not the same every day here. Every day differs in this island. Every day changes. So what you may wake up this morning and find, tomorrow morning you may wake up and find something completely different. So if you're here on the island, I would like to recommend that you utilize the map that I've given all of you all. If you don't have the map, please message me and ask me for a map, because on that map has all of the beaches and majority, I would say majority of the scenic locations on the island. And all those names that you will see, they are vlogs are associated with each and every one of them, multiple vlogs in most cases. We haven't done some walking on the eastern and the east and northeastern section of the island, and a little bit of the northwest side. We haven't actually walked the cliffs, but we've certainly done all the beaches. So if you want to see what different areas are like, please have a look. You know, what we're trying to do is bring you the honest truth about the island. We're not trying to fabricate or beautify anything. And as you can see, every morning this is what we're seeing. Beautiful, beautiful Barbados, and we're feeling the peace. We're smelling the sea air. This morning is as fresh as it possibly can be. You know, I made a lot of sport about cold air and stuff. It does get chillier because of the wind, but certainly doesn't get cold by any means. But just in case you were wondering, you don't need your winter jacket. But I would bring a tank top for sure, because every day you can't walk about without a shirt. I know when it comes to Christmas time, I go up on my winter gear. That will consist of a tank top. Usually very thin straps, so. But anyhow, I just want to welcome you all to Barbados and tell you that I love you all. I don't usually do so much front video like this here, but I want to let you know I love you all with all of my heart. Genuinely, I have all the best wishes for you, and I'm going to send all of my love and my warmth from Barbados to you. But just so you will see some of the beauty that's around us, get away from me for a little while, just want to share with you all of this lovely stuff here. You all would have seen that we have grown and grown and grown, and that's what we are going to continue to do. And that's because people are looking for these types of sceneries and to see what Barbados has to offer. As I mentioned, use your map, please, because that map will enable you to plan your vacation. Now, your plan should always be flexible. You should always be willing to change at the spur of the moment. And that's because you're living on an island and things can change. Everything around you is different. You're on vacation in a place that we call heaven, a place that many call paradise. But there's one thing for sure, everyone on here that's been to Barbados before calls it their home. And this is where they leave their heart when they leave this island. No matter how long they go away for, their heart remains here. They will cry sometimes when they're seeing some of these vlogs, and I know that for sure, because they have memories that are flowing through them of occasions, probably some of the best occasions in their life. So this is what we want to do. We want to tap into that. We want to bring you all of Barbados. We want to show you what we have to offer here. Not for you to come here and waste valuable time going around saying, well, I wonder what this place is like. Let me walk on this track. I know, yeah, that's great for exploring as well. But you can now look and find where you want to go. You don't need to waste time. You can plan your vacation and maximize your stay here on the island. The nightlife you're not going to see with me. The bar life you're rarely going to see with me. You know, this is what I love. I love mornings. I love the peace. I love the warmth. I love the tones of the lighting at this time of morning. And I love to be waking up in the morning with my friends, because this is the way that my day starts. No matter what comes my way today, I'm going to tap into what happened this morning. And no matter how challenging it is, I know that whatever challenges are that come, God is going to get me through them, so long as I put my trust in Him and I have faith in Him. And God will get me through them, and tomorrow will be a new day and I will start all over again. So no matter what happens, I do not give up. I used to give up before. I used to throw, you know, the towel in and say, well, I'm done with that. Not anymore. There's nothing that's going to come my way that's going to worry me anymore, because things that I don't have in my control, God is going to take care of them for me. And that is what Serenity Prayer is all about. I now live my life just worrying about things that I can affect and I can influence by doing positive stuff in my life. The rest of it, God takes care of that now. So I'm not telling you don't get worried. I'm not telling you don't get frightened on occasions. I'm not going to tell you don't get sad and don't get depressed, because of course those things happen. I am human. This is life. That's what happens in life. But as being a person that follows my God, and follows His light, and follows my faith in my God, I don't have to worry. Those things no longer bother me. They may affect me temporarily, but I don't live there. I live in happiness, in His power and His glory, and the beauty and the nature that's around me, and the people that are around me. And I try to inspire everyone around me with the way that I feel, and the way that I live, and the way that I look at life. And I hope I'm able to do that with you all this morning. Remember, this is the beauty of Barbados through my eyes. And remember today, feel proud. You are members and family of the EMC gathering. A gathering that few may know about, but the ones that know about it, treat it as their own. It is not, I'm going to go and join Nick in Barbados. I am going with our family to our gathering and spend a day on the place that we love, or a place we call heaven, paradise, and Barbados, of course. Have a great day, everyone. I love you all.